I'm not. I'm just thinking like it's Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
I am the brand spanking new president of the Christ the King Conference at St. Vincent de Paul. Our president for the last 6 years, Jane Bass, termed out. So against our wishes, she got kicked out by the bylaws. And she's done an absolutely marvelous job leading us for the last 6 years. I'm very wet behind the ears, but glad to be here nonetheless. To all of our priests who graciously joined us for the memorial mass that was just celebrated, thank you very much. Father Tony, thank you for your leadership and for being here. Monsignor Zimmerman, it's so glad to have you back. Father Ray, we're very glad to have you. And Father Sean, what an absolute pleasure to have back the very first spiritual advisor for this conference, as he told us at the Mass. And I know that he has a breakneck speed set of appointments tonight. He's got to barrel back to Rockwall to teach a class tonight by 7, and he made room for us tonight, preached for us tonight, and we're very grateful to have you here, so thank you. And finally, Deacon Jake, our spiritual advisor today, thank you for coordinating the Mass, for planning that beautiful music, beautiful liturgy, and especially for those, not only what you did tonight for the Mass, but for those incredible, thoughtful, well-written, and deeply spiritual meditations that you offer up for us every week. Thank you very much. We are privileged to have you. We have here tonight many family members of our deceased members. You honor us with your presence. Also present are many of our former members and also our donors who make what we do possible. In addition, from the North Texas Council, that's the guys who are in charge of us. The North Texas Council is the St. Vincent de Paul presence here in the Diocese of Dallas. We have Harry Story, who is the incoming chair of the board. Chris Vetter, the Chief Advancement Officer. John Valala from the thrift store. And now, For the final presence of the St. Vincent de Paul Council, I would like to call upon our own member, Doug Lang, to introduce Luis Gonzalez, who is here to make a presentation tonight.
Luis Gonzalez is right over to my right, this first table. He is the Chief Executive Officer of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul for North Texas. He is effectively the shepherd for over 900 of us Vincentians in the diocese in North Texas. Luis is very thorough, very thoughtful, and he is very spiritual about helping our neighbors. The most important things, I think, to him are, of course, the Lord, the Blessed Virgin, the Catholic Church. But don't leave out his wife of 34 years, Gladys, and their 8 children. That's the center of his life. That's his home. You know, he comes to us just a couple of years ago with incredible credentials. He got his undergrad degree at SMU, MBA at the University of Dallas. His business history is incredible. He was vice president of global services, I believe, for Hudson Advisors. And then prior to that, he was director of services for Hudson Insurance. And before that, he spent 25 years at Allstate Insurance in charge of many teams. All of this, as I understand it, is based on his IT abilities and knowledge. I can barely spell IT. But anyway, he is devoted to our neighbors, as we are. And Luis, thank you. And now it's your turn. And don't say anything bad about you. I didn't say anything bad about you.
Thank you very much, Doug. You were far too kind. Good evening, everybody. It is an absolute, I'm a walker, yeah, so you'll need to. It is an absolute blessing to be here tonight. Thank you so much for the privilege of being able to join all of you. And thank you so much for the great work that you do in really fulfilling the work of Christ, in tending to our neighbors, and really just being there for them, for each and every one of them. You are the epitome of what it is that we do because you do that personal encounter. You encounter Christ in the very people that we're taking care of. And so I just thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you do. You are just a fantastic reflection of the work of the society. And I just look at myself as I get to be the cheerleader who gets to promote the great work that all of you are doing. So this is all about, ultimately, I'm not the one who's in charge. We all know that he's the one in charge. We're doing his work, and if we always keep ourselves grounded in that, it'll always help us in everything that we have to do. It's a privilege to be here tonight, in particular, to be able to bring you a very special gift that we received, and I wanted to share. I'm a storyteller, so I have to share this little story. It didn't come to me in this. I found this on Amazon. It's a perfect fit for what I have inside, because before I was carrying a little plastic bag, and that just did not feel right to be doing that. It was about 1.5 years or so ago that a good friend of mine from my home parish that I've known for many years, she called me and let me know. She said, I have something special for you now that you joined the Society of St. Vincent de Paul. I want to bring it to you once I get it from my mother. So I was like, okay. So she went on to explain to me that her mother actually lives up in Oklahoma. And her mother happened to be going to her beautician one day. And so she's sitting there at the beautician's office, at the beautician's salon, when the beautician's husband called her. Now, the beautician's husband happened to work at a thrift store. Not a St. Vincent de Paul thrift store, but a thrift store. So my friend's mother's beautician's husband called her and said, I found something in a piece of furniture. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's important. So the husband asked the beautician, do you know anybody who might know what to do with it? So the beautician asked my friend's mother, do you know what to do with it? So my friend's mother called my friend and said, do you know what to do with it? And so my friend said, yes, Mom, you need to tell them that they need to make sure that the donor knows that it was given away. I'm not going to go through that whole story back up again, but suffice it to say that they called back and said they don't want it, they don't have a need for it. So the husband asked the beautician, who should we give it to? The beautician asked the mother, who should we give it to? The mother said, give it to me, I think I know somebody who wants it. So the mother got it, sent it to her daughter, and her daughter gave it to me. And so what this is we are now in the possession of a first-class relic of St. Vincent de Paul. And my friend, because she knows the story of St. Vincent de Paul and what we do, she told me that the reliquary that the relic came to her in was rather gaudy. And she said that's very unbecoming for St. Vincent de Paul. So she placed it in a nice, simple reliquary like this. I don't know exactly what body part this is. It looks to be either a drop of blood or potentially a piece of bone. It's definitely not hair. But this is a first-class relic. Tonight, you're more than welcome to come up and venerate the relic. If you happen to have a rosary or one of the prayer cards back there from St. Vincent de Paul, and if you touch it to this first-class relic, you now are in possession of a third-class relic. So you'll now have a third-class relic that you can carry around that has touched the first-class relic of St. Vincent de Paul. So this has been with us since the beginning of the fiscal year this year. And I thought it very appropriate, and I really took it as a sign that the Lord was pleased and delighted with the work that we do. And that this was his way of telling us, well done, good and faithful servant. And on an evening like tonight, where we're remembering those who have gone before us, who helped to build this conference, I think it's even that much more appropriate that we would have St. Vincent de Paul here with us this evening. I also have in my hand something that I think is very special. Did Father left already? Father Sean? Yeah. He did, okay, yeah. It's ironic because he talked about two of the gentlemen that are a part of this story. What I have in my hand is something that was given to me about 2 months after I received the relic. And this is the 1954 copy of the manual of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, given to our very first conference president in the Diocese of Dallas, Joe Lang. Joe, when it came time for him to step down, he decided to give it to a very good friend of his who succeeded him, who was also mentioned tonight, Wick Allison. Wick Allison, in turn, when he decided to leave, he gave it to a very dear friend of his, Maria Vega, who happens to be on our council staff. And Maria wanted us to have this moving forward. So we have tonight with us as well the very first original manual of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul in North Texas. And it's got the imprimatur of the Archbishop of Dublin, which is pretty neat. And there's also little things back here that we don't have in the manual today. Letters from Frederick Ozanam and what have you. So it's pretty neat. It's a nice piece for us to have. And we just recently moved up to the second floor at Holy Trinity, our council offices. And my desire is to build a heritage wall there to be able to show the history of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul over the last 70 years. This will be front and center in a nice little window case because this is the very first manual of St. Vincent de Paul. So with that, I just thank you again for all that you do. Thank you for continuing to serve him through the people that you serve. Thank you for being such a wonderful representation of what it means to be a Vincentian, to be the hands and feet of Christ. God bless you all.
Thank you, Luis, and thank you so much for being here tonight with us. It's a real honor and privilege. At the end of our remarks tonight, I do encourage all of you to make your third-class relic. We do have, as he mentioned, the prayer cards back on that table. They are there for your taking. And of course, those rosaries that you've got in your purses and in your pockets, make use of them. Also, back on that table is a booklet that is there for you. It is our gift to you. It is a booklet called Let There Be Light. It is the second printing of this booklet. The first was done some years ago by the St. Vincent de Paul Society as a gift to the parish, right as it was beginning. And we have recently rewritten the introduction and reprinted the book, and it is there for you as a gift. This book will be given to any new parishioners who come to Christ the King, to welcome them, and to in our OCIA classes, any of our those who are welcoming into the faith will also receive a copy of this book. So it is our conference's way to say, welcome, we're glad you're here. So we encourage you to take those. We're very glad you're here tonight. The key mover and shaker behind that booklet and behind our conference as a whole is Hank Herman. Many of you know that. Many of you were there. And I'd like to ask Hank to come forward and just share a few remarks about the founding of our conference.
Thank you. Father Sean, in his homily, gave about half the remarks I was intending to make tonight. So thank you, Sean. My remarks will be much briefer. So I will actually start a year before Father Sean started. In 1999, Rick Allison visited with Monsignor Zimmerman, suggesting that a conference at Christ the King be started. Monsignor Zimmerman countered with the idea of inviting Rick to a sign-up Sunday event in this room 26 years ago. Rick came, two of us signed up for membership in the St. Vincent de Paul Conference at Holy Trinity. And so for a year, Brian O'Boyle and I were members of the Holy Trinity Conference. Before the year was over, Blanquita Chianglo and David Saller also joined membership. Towards the end of that year, we drew Father Sean Martin in, and he attended a meeting at Holy Trinity, and we gave him the task of convincing the good Monsignor Zimmerman to let us start a conference here at Christ the King. So Sean worked his magic. The good Monsignor said yes, thank you. And in the fall of 2000, we began the conference here at Christ the King. Monsignor Zimmerman did have one caveat, and that being that there was no room on our campus for us to meet. So very much to Margaret's chagrin, for the first year and a half, we met every Tuesday at 6 p.m. in the living room of our home on Brookshire Drive. Margaret, as those of you who knew her, was not shy about sharing her feelings about things. And so after a while she was always a gracious hostess, she became less and less enthused about the Tuesday evening invasion into our home. So every time she saw Monsignor Zimmerman, she would be sure to remind him that it would be very, very nice if we had an alternate meeting place. So finally in 2003, space was leased across the parking lot in Preston Commons, and we started meeting in an office over there shared by Chris and Kirk Dooley's youth group. Conference membership gives us an opportunity on a very up-close and personal basis to grow in holiness through service to others, as Sean said in his homily. Going in pairs, we visit the people who call out to us for help. We visit them in their homes. Instead of asking them to come to us, we humbly go to them at a time and day that fits their schedules. Their problems become our problems. We offer prayer, advice, support, encouragement, and friendship, in addition to whatever financial assistance we might provide. Our service over these past 25 years would not really be possible without the generosity of so many of you in the room tonight. So from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you very, very much. As Father Sean mentioned, Grumpy Old Joe Lang did indeed say that the purpose of the society was to get its membership, its members into heaven. And as was noted, over the past 25 years, 25 of our members have gone to their eternal rest. Starting with the first death of a member, Pat Adams, in 2009. At every one of our weekly meetings, we pray for our deceased members by name, and that is something we will always do as long as we are a conference. So I thank each of you for being here tonight, and God bless you.
Thank you. If that's not the best recruitment tool ever, if you join the conference, you will be prayed for every week when you die. As we wrap this up, I would like to honor several of our members and our former members who are here tonight. One remarkable characteristic of our conference is how long our members commit themselves to this mission. Present here tonight are many who were part of the conference in its early days, and many of those, like Hank, continue to serve the conference. I want to specifically honor those who are here tonight and who joined and served the conference in its very early years. When I call your name, could you please stand and remain standing? Jim Hill, Linda Reyna, Joe Minogue, Kelly Herman, Michelle DiGiacomo, Molly Schrepfer, Donna Carter, Father Sean Martin, Donna Marino, Wanda Rudolph, Lankita Chianglo, and Hank Herman. I'd like to thank you for building what you built. I'd also like to recognize our members who served the St. Vincent de Paul Society Beyond Christ the King in the North Texas area outside of our church boundaries. Perry Cockrell, president of District 6 and its representative on the North Texas Council Board. Donna Carter, vice president of District 6 currently, but more long-term founder of the St. Vincent de Paul thrift store. As I understand it, it started in her garage. And she's currently treasurer of the thrift store. Joe Minogue, longtime director and the outgoing president of the North Texas Council Board. Doug Lang, currently vice president of the North Texas Council Board and also a director of the thrift store. Wanda Rudolph, former president of District 6 in service on the North Texas Council Board, and Hank Herman, the founder of the St. Vincent de Paul Pharmacy and former director of the pharmacy. Thank you. And finally, a word to our donors. I do want you to know that your donations did not pay for your glass of wine tonight. This Mass, this reception, and the booklets that are being offered to you as a gift tonight were all paid for by members and other friends of the Society who earmarked their donations specifically for this tonight's celebration. Your donations instead went directly to those in need. In the past 25 years, we have given more than $1 million in direct assistance to the poor. In the last year, for example, you have paid for the oxygen for a dying man who is desperate to stay alive until the wedding of his daughter. She got married last Saturday and he made it. Your donations saved an elderly woman from eviction during the last year of her life. This woman lived alone and she could no longer manage her financial affairs. We helped her with rent, befriended her, and in the end, it was one of our members that got the call from the landlord to advise us that she had passed away in her apartment. Our member was the only one the landlord knew to call. Your donations assisted one of our parishioners suffering from breast cancer, whose illness put her in a financial bind, unable to pay her bills. You provided groceries for a homeless mom living in a car with her 5 children. You bought maroon scrubs for a neighbor who got a new job but couldn't afford the clothing to get to her first day. You paid for the electricity to be turned back on last February in freezing weather for a struggling Uber driver. You paid many months of rent, utilities, and car payments for many others. Your support is essential to what we do. Thank you. This concludes our remarks tonight. I do want to remind you to please pick up your booklet. It's there for you on the way out. And please come venerate the relic and make your third class relic tonight before you leave. We're very glad to have you here. Thanks. I would also like to let you all cast lots for the flowers on your table. Enjoy them and take them with you tonight. Thank you.
All right, you cheers.
Thank you.